So that's kind of where I started my re-engagement with literature. I knew there was more to it than that, but that was kind of my starting point. And so I was going along, as I said, liking one book, not liking the next, and trying to figure it out. And then a few months ago, I hit on about 2 or 3 books in a row that were super excellent, in terms of my enjoyment of them. And the final one of that little mini series, when I say series, the books aren't connected to each other than that I was the one reading one book, then another, then another. The book was Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, highly rated book. And I was super enjoying it, but not only was it on my 2 thumbs up list, that not only was I enjoying it, but it's like something cracked open in me, with this whole process of the last 3 years of reading all these different pieces, enjoying them more or less. Suddenly, something was kind of building up in me in this reading. And with this book, Where the Crawdads Sing, something suddenly cracked open inside of me. And I had this, and I don't even know how well I can explain this. I'll do my best, but something cracked open in me in terms of this revelation about the true essence of literature. Yes, what we studied in high school, you look at the plot and the characters and the scenes and the mood and the setting and all these different qualities that a literature student will study in a piece. But so I sort of knew all that sort of in the back of my mind. I wasn't a professional literary analyzer or whatever, anything like that, but I certainly knew the basics. But with this book, as I say, something cracked open in me, and it's like I saw through to the real meaning of literature. And my personal insight was that they aren't separate categories. And what I'm talking about is, it's not like you have literature over here, and then you have medicine over here. The way we practice medicine. You have philosophy up in this other quadrant. You have these different areas of human expression and activity. But suddenly reading this book, seeing the characters and the plot and all these things that I was enjoying, it's like, no, there aren't different categories. It's all consciousness. It's all text. It's all this expression of this deep human reality of what we are. As I say, we are consciousness, we are text. And suddenly through reading this book, in this particular book, it all cracked open for me. And I was like, oh, okay, the world is text, the world is consciousness. Again, we know that when we practice medicine, we look at with your story you just gave a moment ago, Alison, we look at the state of mind of the patient, the consciousness. We know that as a medical reality, but it's like the barriers just fell away, and it's like, oh yeah, that's no different than reading this novel, no different than watching a movie, no different than watching children play on the sidewalk or whatever, and how they interact with their game and everything else. It's all part of this human text unfolding before our eyes, this kind of dance of consciousness, which, as I say, we read, we understand the same way we understand a novel. So there's maybe a little more to it. I just don't know how to explain, but that was my experience. And for what it's worth, that, amongst other things, kind of helped me crystallize that this would be our good talking subject today.
Yeah, lovely. And I love that story. It's an amazing thing when you start to take the principle or approach for one aspect of your life and then can see how it cosmically superimposes on another aspect. I'm super curious about what it was. Was it the character or the depth of meaning that was derived through the storyline? Like, I'm sure it was dynamic in, all the facets that deeply impinged, at the state of mind or the gesture of that particular piece of literature. Do you recall what it was that impacted on you, reverberated through you, or lit up in you this level of enthusiasm you're describing?
I don't know that I can. It's a good question. I don't know I can pull out a specific, concrete answers like, oh yeah, because the character was portrayed like, it's I don't have that kind of answer. It was, for me, it was more of a cumulative process
Oh,
where,
yeah.
because of the books I had enjoyed in recent months, and as I said, I was kind of starting in that category of entertainment. Oh yeah, this was a good book, 5 out of 5 stars, and 2 thumbs up or whatever. I had that just kind of entertainment response to it. But through the cumulative experience of these books that I was enjoying, it just, I don't know if it was timing, whatever it was, in this particular book, because of what I had been accumulating in terms of experience with these other books, was it just kind of popped open with this book that, yeah, I kind of suddenly crossed the line from, oh yeah, I'm in the realm of entertainment, to, oh yeah, I'm in this deep textual presentation of human
Oh,
consciousness,
yeah.
and this kind of higher level of meaning. So I said that nothing special about this book in
Oh,
particular,
I see.
different from other, any different from other really well done, books. As I say, it was, to me, in terms of my own personal evolution, it was just it was like I crossed a threshold just by the timing of it. It's like, oh yeah, I read this book, was really good, this book, and all of a sudden enough built up in me that I was able to see at this level, as it just happened to be this book that was it kind of was kind of in my hands at that moment when I was ready